Vinay Rajani from HDFC Securities. Vinay, welcome to the show. We have been talking about markets already, but at this hour, we're pretty close to close. I would want to know what are your top picks ahead of the budget?
Yeah, so basically defense and railways are the theme that we are looking for. So basically these two sectors can be watched, especially for the budget session. So rest of the sectors have already moved in. PSU banks are trading around an all-time high. Metal after rallying now seeing a profit booking from the higher level. So these are the two sectors, defense as well as the railway stocks can be looked at. So from railways, RailTel can be looked at. Another stock which one can look at is the IRFC. So IRFC and RailTel from the railway stocks, and from the defense you can consider stock like large cap stock like Bharat Electronics for the couple of days trading back, and the other stocks which are looking good is the GIC and also the Paras Defense. So defense and railways can be looked at for the short term.
Defense where you're talking about, Vinay. Ashish, let me come back to you with regards to a Paytm. In spite of a turnaround, so that's the exciting panel that NDTV Profit has on budget day. It's the growth agenda that will be unveiled as well on Sunday with the finance minister's speech that will start at 11 a.m. So don't forget to tune into NDTV Profit from 7 a.m. itself. That's when we will start programming as well. So that's with regards to where the budget goes. But interesting moves that we've seen in terms of the EMS sector so far, with the kind of crash that did happen in the last couple of months, and then that mild recovery that potentially has started to come in. Vinay, a quick analysis when it comes to the charts with what's happened with, say, a Dixon, Sirma, PG Electroplast, Keynes Technologies. It's been a pretty interesting last 2 months.
Yeah, so all companies have different technical setup. If we talk about the Sirma is relatively very strong in trading above the all key moving averages. So the technical setup of Sirma is quite strong and is likely to outperform. As far as Dixon is concerned, it is looking oversold on the charts because the stock has witnessed registered a significant fall from the high of 18,500 to 10,500. So it looks oversold. We cannot rule out the possibility of a bounce back in this particular stock. But yes, Sirma is definitely looking stronger on the charts amongst this EMS pack. So that should be given priority. Dixon is looking good for the pullback, and today's low should be the strong support for the counter.
Coming in for the EMS space as well. Ashish, I wanted to get your views also in this segment. In the EMS space, a lot of selling has happened. Vinay, we're winding down to the last day of trade before the budget session. Any ideas that you might have for short trades?
Yeah, so Apollo Hospital is looking good and closing on a strong wicket after a long time. So it is looking good at 6950. So I'm looking for the target of 7230, which is the next immediate resistance. And today's low is around 6767, which can be utilized as a strong trading stop loss.
Okay. All right. On that note, let us move on to the focus. I think the media index was up at about, right? So it's up about 1.4%. But Nestle specifically is really arguably the story of the day in this pack. It is the top gainer. It's 3.5% high. And why that is that the net profit is coming significantly ahead of expectations. It came in at 1,018 crore rupees compared with an estimate of 739 crore rupees. The revenue is coming also reasonably ahead of expectations, coming in at 5,667 crore rupees. The expectation had pegged it at just under 5,300 crore rupees, and the margin has actually missed expectations. The consensus expectations had pegged it at 22.6%, while the margin came in at 21.2%. So it's quite interesting what is taking place, and there are a few other things that have come into play as well. But on the technicals, Vinay, the FMCG basket, the consumption basket, of course, a lot of people have been waiting for this to take off. The question is, does it now? Some of these stocks have underperformed in a big way post-earnings.
Yes, you are right. FMCG index is looking quite oversold in this particular year. It has not performed yet, despite getting very positive news. Also, it has not reacted, and now we can see some strength building in the heavy weighted stocks like ITC is looking extremely oversold, and this is carrying a lot of weightage in this FMCG index. So yes, pullback really cannot be ruled out in the stock like ITC, and other stocks are performing relatively well. Like one of the stock is Nestle, just we are talking about, so looking very strong. So this downside is looking very limited in this particular index, and pullback really cannot be ruled out. So we are expecting from this level, FMCG should do well and show some bounce back from current levels.
Regards to where Nifty FMCG. In fact, on the charts, if I come to you, Vinay, let's look at a Coal India. Let's also look at ONGC and Oil India, which actually climbed up pretty sharply on the way crude was moving. Again, seeing profit booking in today's session. Anything that the charts are telling you where you see a buying opportunity?
I think in case of Coal India, it is just a retracement of the overall uptrend. So we saw a breakout above 417. That was a multi-month breakout in the Coal India. And from after that breakout, after 417, it went up to 461. Now again, it is retracing back to the previous breakout level. So change of polarity can work as a fresh entry for the trading. So I think this is an opportunity from here to, let's say, around 420. This is a buying range one can consider for Coal India. So that is looking good positionally. Running correction cannot be ruled out, but yes, 420 to 435 is a good range to go along. As far as this oil exploration companies are concerned, yes, Oil India continues to look good, and our fundamental rating is also buy. So rather than going for ONGC, we prefer more Oil India. So I think on dips one can consider definitely for positional trades. So Oil India and Coal India both are looking very strong on the positional charts.
Okay, so that's the view on that extended commodity pack, Coal India in particular. But Ashish, I don't want to ask you about Nippon India EMC. It was one of the stocks that I liked this morning on the back of the earnings, which looked particularly strong. But from that initial fight
from Ashish on the AMC space. Thanks a lot, Vinay and Ashish, for giving your time for NDTV Profit and both technical as well as fundamental views. But we are coming towards the end of the market closing, and this is the final session. After that comes the budget on Sunday, and of course the markets will be open. Remember that. Nifty, of course, trying to make a recovery from the day